Hello and welcome to In the Court of the Wenton Knave. This is a really significant one, really interesting and possibly forgotten in the mist of time. I don't know if, I assume you can order this from GGM, I don't actually know. Project X. Okay, Project X is the other half of the Construction of Light. It's essentially what Trey and Pat were up to while they were making Construction of Light. So Project X is Trey and Pat, essentially, using recordings of Fripp and Belew. But they don't essentially write, just the two of them essentially write. So it is a project, and there's an argument, maybe this should have been, half and half of this, and Construction of Light should have been an album, and then it would have been the next album, rather than Construction of Light being sort of too backwards looking. But maybe they just couldn't do that. Maybe there was no way of getting that to work. The title, Heaven and Earth, is what it's called, is the name of Toya's TV show, a religious TV show, so I don't see the relevance of that. It's the ancient Chinese oracle of I Ching, it's all that stuff. But Heaven and Earth are separate and apart, but the work which they do unites them. But they are just separate here, aren't they? Because they're just two albums. And obviously it's a great concept, the duality thing, it's got to before, sometimes with three. But maybe they should have combined this into a crim, I don't know. But maybe that would have been another session, so they had to do this first, and then the next stage would have been to put it together. So obviously next stage will be to tour, and then do new material, and then do that album. So we don't get there until the next one, and maybe the project searched, but then they were just playing live, so they didn't take the time to sort of hang it on to crim, make it crim. That was still to come. And as it was a Gun Massalotto album, it's their project. They called the shots, So Fripp was asked to play on it. He was soundscaping, and it all went horrible. They didn't think it was working, and Massalotto didn't want to tell him, so Gun told him. Is that significant? Is it significant that Trey Gunn was happy to tell him and Massalotto didn't? Maybe. There was a thing called Spy Critters, which was supposed to be the coda, became the opener because Fripp didn't like it where it was, so that they were listening to him. And that became the Business of Pleasure. And of course, as it's studio, and it obviously involves Pat Massalotto, it's the follow-up to Mask. Technically, I think I prefer Mask. Although this has got Belew solos on it, which is also awesome, and this is heavier as well, there's some heavy stuff on here. And they're both really good. It's freer than Construction of Light because it's project-y stuff, isn't it? And it is a shame this will be forgotten. In a way, Construction of Light is the album, so you can get that anywhere. But this I'm sure this will be forgotten. A bit like Mask, really. And they're both so good. Maybe at some point we'll get a Construction of Light box. Maybe we'll get a sort of 2-disc version of the 20th anniversary or something of Construction of Light. Will be a 2-disc version with this as the other disc. Yeah, lots of distortion on this album. So, track 1, Business of Pleasure. There's nothing as noisy and messy and on Construction of Light as this. It's dun, 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 dun. So it's very produced compared to a project. It's really compressed and noisy, and it's very, very contemporary sounding in a way. Track 2 is Hat in the Middle. Very familiar. V-drum stuff, samples of speaking, it's a subdued thing into sustains, and then back into the rhythm. Sci-fi game music, I think. Sort of proggier, obviously, but that kind of thing. And a wild Belew bit before the end as well, which is fantastic. Track 3 is Side Window. Some noodling, bit meh, jungle prog. Track 4, Maximizer. Belew saying Maximizer, that's what it is. Very distorted sequence drums, heavy, really heavy. It's King Crimson at the most extreme, actually. So that's. Track 5, Strange Years, aging rapidly. The previous track just cuts, so it cuts into this one, which is interesting. This is a long one, 9 minutes, which for a 15-track CD is not bad going. You've got sustains with Belew, of course. A little bit sort of Frippatronics. It sounds Frippatronics. I thought it was quite cool. I think this evokes 72-74 with trio, etc. And then he goes into the sort of proggy dance stuff. Then some awesome Belewing. The 4-piece goes projecting. That's what it is. Works really well. You realise Project 3 was missing Belew, weren't they? Track 6 is Overhead Floor, Mats Under Toe. That's just words, isn't it? Sustains, gliding stuff, cool evil rhythm in the background. And there's a stop-start thing, so that's excellent. Track 7 is 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock on a Christmas morning. Dirty, dissonant jamming stuff. And there's some silly stuff at the end, so that's great. Track 8 is Superbottomfeeder. course, Bottomfeeder is a Nurse with Boon track, and you think about it, a Nurse with, that particular track anyway would fit on this album. This is very avant-garde stuff, so the parallel with that is more pronounced than ever. This isn't much like that track actually, but it's quite light sustains. Maybe the rhythm is similar to Bottomfeeder, I don't know, but maybe that's what they were listening to, because there's certainly parallels. Track 9, 1E and. Sort of weird slinky rhythm stuff. Track 10, 2 awkward moments. Some Fripp talking stuff and some drum and bass rhythmy stuff. Very contemporary. Track 11, Demolition, there it is. Oyster Soup instrumental, basically that's what Demolition is, very cool. Track 12, Conversation Pit. Proper avant-garde, sounds like Music Concrete. It isn't Music Concrete of course, but that's what it sounds like. The Crimson Megaphone of Destiny, that's what this is. Crimson Megaphone of Destiny. Track 13 is Cin Alayı. I don't know how to... the cedilla on the bottom of the C, I don't know how to pronounce that. 13. And it's some guitaring with cool rhythm. Track 14 is Heaven and Earth, which was the bonus track on Construction of Light. Interestingly, it's nice and complete. It's not amazing. Simple bass riff, it's a little bit 80s crim. There's some fantastic soundscape stuff and Fripp stuff on there. And it's great at the end, but it's actually one of the easier tracks on there. Track 15, Belew Jay Way, like a bonus track. Sort of pensive Belew stuff, very good. See you next week for some live stuff. Oh yes.